Um, we can do it at the beginning.
Okay.
We can do it at the beginning, yeah. All right, we're going to get started here. Let's see. Let me get everything turned off here. Okay. And we're gonna start it off with the hand. Boy, my audio looks really hot. Am I real loud?
Compared to us, you are.
Yeah, let me turn me down a little bit. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. That's probably a little better, right? That's better right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Usually I'm low. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna get started with Ham Band tonight, guys. Just stand by. I like the music, man. I like the music. I don't particularly like the dance moves that these guys did there at the Huntsville. And we're thinking about, we may just bring the band back at Huntsville this year. We've got Brett there now. Glenn will be there. So we've got some new members to put in the band. So we may just do that. We'll talk offline about it. But here we go.
On the air tonight, where Roundtable's lit and the signal's tight. Per static fades, I twist the knob. The shack comes alive, this is my job. LEDs glow, antennas high. Another night beneath the sky. I'm calling out, hear that tone. Across the globe, I'm not alone. The net's alive and I'm checking in. Let the conversation begin. We're at the amateur radio roundtable. We're all plugged in, solid and stable. W5KUB's calling loud and proud, spinning stories through the static cloud. From KW5GP to WI7BG, we're rocking the bands wild and free. Hey, Glenn's got mods on a breadboard bass. Brett's breaking news from a distant place. Tom's at the helm like a seasoned vet, streaming it live on the internet. Antenna swing, the skip is long. We're singing the ham radio song. Spin that dial, let's catch some heat. 40 meters never felt so sweet. Look at the amateur radio roundtable with coax lines and power cables. Deeks, patricians, QSLs. We got more ham than a southern belle. From KW5GP to WI7BG, we're working the world wild and free. Well, yeah, rockin' worldwide. Mic in hand and a call sign, pride. Oh, yeah, the amateur radio roundtable. Stories strong and signal stable. So key it up and call your name in this wild RF Hall of Fame. From KW5GP to you and me, we're having hard 7 and 3. CQ out. Hammond hard 7-3.
All right, guys. Hello. This is Amateur Radio Roundtable. Welcome tonight. And boy, I just love the music. I can listen to that music all night. It was well worth the $200,000 that Roundtable paid to have these professional people, write and put these songs together about our show. So I really like the music. I can listen to it all day. It's got a great beat. It mentions Brett and it mentions Glenn there. So man, I'm happy. Anyway, Amateur Radio Roundtable. That's what you're watching right now or listening to if you're out there on WBCQ. Send us an email to tom@w5kub.com. tom@w5kub.com. Let us know where in the world you are and how you're hearing the station. WBCQ is a very famous shortwave station up in Monticello, Maine, up there. So send us a note there. Hey, be sure and subscribe to the show. If you're on one of the video channels and you got to subscribe over there somewhere, please hit that subscribe if you will. If you click on the notification and the let's see, the notification and what's the other thing? Oh, the like. That really helps us to advertise the program and get it going for other people to find and watch. It helps us build up the audience here. The show has been on now weekly for about over 10 years now, so we've done really well, I think, in keeping it going week after week. We've missed very few weeks in the last 10 years. So let's see. Join our Facebook group. Our Facebook group has over 14,000 members in it, and the Facebook group is just about ham radio. It's about the show. It's about this channel. It's about electronics. It's about shortwave, all that kind of stuff. It's just called W5KUB. Just type that in a Facebook search, and we will approve you. Now, a lot of you try to get me to approve you as a friend. I don't really use my personal Facebook and just invite everybody out there in it, because I don't want 14,000 people in my personal Facebook. I'm usually right here on this Facebook group, W5KUB, all the time. You can message me there or see me there all the time. You can follow us there. Hey, tonight we got a good show, I think. Me and Brett's got a couple good things here to talk about. I'm going to talk about the all-band vertical that I've been working on. Man, I'll tell you what, it has been hot out there. Humidity has been so high, I can't spend much time out there. I did a few things. We'll talk about it later. I've got some pictures to show you. I want to talk about that. Hey, maybe some hints and some ideas on some simple repairs are coming up. I got an email today. A guy had, the little clip on the microphone, what is it, RJ45 type plug. The little clip breaks off, and guy didn't know what to do, man. Anyway, I got him a good solution for that. Hey, we got ham radio action figures. Roundtable now has their own action figures. They're pretty cool. We're going to talk about upcoming Ham Fest. I'll be at a Ham Fest here July 19th. That's just 3 weeks away. Be giving a forum there. Man, we've got so much going on right now, and we've got field day coming up this weekend. Man, lots of stuff going on here. Let's get everybody in here and we can talk with them, and let's see. Hey, look at there. Glenn's up at the top, so we'll just pick on Glenn first. Glenn, how you doing, man?
Oh, man, hanging in here, trying to stay cool. It's an oven outside.
Man, I know it.
And
I went out and worked on antenna. This is not antenna working weather, man.
no, I've got everything to put up my end-fed, all-band end-fed in the backyard until I can get a tower. And I've got everything ready, and it is just too hot to even be outside. So I said, forget it. I'll wait until it gets cooler, and probably catch it one evening after some rain or something. But in light of that, I've been spending a lot of time tinkering in my workshop, or lab, whatever you want to call it. And matter of fact, I'm probably going to do the show here from that lab maybe next week or so.
That'd be cool.
Let you see what that room's looking like.
Okay, that'd be cool.
And, also been busting my tail on the new mesh networking book. That has been top priority, and I'm finally getting a good handle on it. So
yeah,
that's rolling along. That's due in September. So got to keep rolling.
So this is the first year that you live over in Conway now. Are you going to one of the local field days?
Yes, I am going to the Faulkner County Amateur Radio Club's field day over at the Faulkner County EMA here in Conway. W5AUU. I do not know if that's going to be the call on HF or the GOTA station, but I will be on HF. More than likely, if you work us, it's going to be me, because you plant me in front of a radio and I generally don't get up until I drop.
Now, what's the name of the location you'll be at?
Faulkner County Emergency Management Agency.
It sounds like they might have air conditioning.
It does. It's indoor for the
Yeah.
rigs.
Oh man, I could tell, man. I could tell. You guys are doing good planning there. I tell you.
Oh, it's a good group, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm taking my FT 450 Go box with the foot pedals. I'll have to really get a demonstration put together for that, but basically it's hands-free for the entire contest. If I've got a logger, I don't even have to log. So
That's cool.
it's
That's cool.
Voice
Well,
memories.
we're
the whole
gonna
nine yards.
we're gonna miss you here down at Olive Branch. Of course, last couple of years I've gone to the Memphis. Boy, I tell you, it has been so hot out there. Nobody hardly operates. They're all laying down on the ground, and it looks like they're calling EMT for everybody, man. It is just bad.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
But I love the tower that Memphis has that wind up, assemble the sections automatically.
Well, they haven't
Tower
brought
that
that.
they
They have not brought that out there in a couple of years. So I don't think it's
I
coming
thought they
anymore.
were bringing it out this year.
Are they? Okay, cool. Well, my son Chris told me that he told me about Fayette County. Here was always had a good group, and I was thinking about driving out to Fayette County, but he checked with someone, and they've decided to team up with the Germantown people here in Memphis. So I'm glad he told me. I pull up Fayette County website, and it looked like they were having a field day. You know, it said we're having it right behind the fire department here on Highway whatever. I went back and I looked again, and that was down in Florida. Fayette County down in Florida. So if you look it on the internet, guys, be sure to check and make sure you're looking at the right field day that you want to go to, or it could be a long drive. Okay? All right, man. All right, well, good. All right. Brett, what do you got going tonight, man? You got several things to talk about tonight.
Oh yeah, well I'm getting ready for field day, and this year the field day nearest to me is going to be in Cheyenne, Wyoming. The Chi-Y Radio Club in Cheyenne, Wyoming is having a field day, and they're doing it near Kurt Gowdy State Park. Now this is a very scenic area where there are big mountains of granite boulders, and it's just gorgeous, gorgeous terrain. And they're going to be set up in a parking lot near all that scenery. And I'm going to bring a radio and set up to work with them.
Well, that's great.
Is my audio coming through okay? I'm hearing some static.
No, it's coming through fine.
It's echoey.
Good.
I don't hear any echo.
Okay.
Shut your mouth.
Anyway, the radio I'm going to be bringing is my Poda radio.
Yeah.
Which is I'll show it right here. It is a Jigu G90S. Now the S, most people don't get it with the S and the model number at the end. The S is apparently the Chinese version that I've managed to get here.
Oh boy.
But it works just like the American version. And it's a little SDR radio, 20 watts maximum output. And it pairs perfectly with the Alex Loop antenna that I showed a couple of months ago that I managed to pick up at a local Hamfest. That also has a maximum power of 20 watts. And I plan to go out there, probably work a lot of digital modes, and maybe other things as well. Now, I'm also bringing a Bioenno lithium iron phosphate battery for power. Now, if you take a look at the back of this radio, you'll see it has a little power connector. It's not power poles. The newer versions of the radio have power poles. This one has a mini Tamiya connector on the back. That's actually a radio-controlled car connector. So I made an adapter that adapts it to power poles. And so I will either use my own battery or I'll plug into the club's battery. And they have a tradition of having a huge picnic. I'm going to be bringing 2-bite brownies to the picnic for everybody to consume. And then after the picnic is over, it'll happen about 3 p.m. It's gonna begin to get dark, and we'll be able to start working the gray line. And that's when I expect we're gonna get the best propagation all the way across the country on all the bands.
Did you say it gets dark at 3 p.m.?
No, it won't get dark at 3 p.m. and we're
okay.
so close to the solstice. but it'll be dark somewhere.
Oh, okay.
It'll
Yeah, I
be,
got you. I
it'll,
got you.
it'll be,
Well,
it'll
hey,
definitely be completely dark over Europe, and it'll be, sunset will be coming across the Atlantic towards us.
so
So
you
we'll be
got a
right
good
there.
radio there. In fact, if that's the Chinese version, they didn't solder any of the stuff is not soldered in that radio, right, Glenn? It's welded. Everything in there is welded.
That's right. Yeah, if
Really?
it came from China, it's welded.
Yeah.
Ah, I didn't know that.
You didn't. I'll have to show you. I've got a lot of documentation here. Everywhere that we would typically solder, anything here in the U.S., they always weld it.
Yeah, and it's a totally different technique.
Yeah. But it'll be good, man. It'll be good.
Yeah, but it's a little SDR.
Mod
I
it.
don't have it turned on here, but it has a band scope, which is tiny but actually pretty good. They actually, you can actually tune, and you can actually chase. With SSB phone at least, it's easy to chase signals. You can also do some of that with CW. It has a built-in CW decoder,
Oh, that's
which
nice.
is really handy if you're copying, you're having a little trouble copying someone. It will at least give you another opinion of what they sent.
Yeah.
And I guess the one thing that's both good and bad about this radio is that it has no audio post-processing at all. The audio that comes out of it is exactly what came out of the final detector stage. Now that's absolutely wonderful for digital modes. Digital modes work so well on this because there's no distortion. Whatever the SDR received comes out exactly, goes into your computer. Your computer can do all the processing on it. But it can be a little painful when you're doing SSB phone. So it's handy to have an outboard filter, and I have one of the old SCAF filter kits that I built that I
Yeah.
can put on it so that I can hear better.
Okay.
And that makes a huge difference. So I'll be, like I said, I'll have the POTA rig there, and if I can find a channel that somebody else isn't operating on, there's going to be other rigs there. I should be able to do pretty well. One nice thing about taking the loop is that loops have a very high Q. They're very very narrow, and so I don't know whether I'll interfere with anyone else, but I'm not going to hear them because the loop is going to be like a bandpass filter, and it'll filter everything out.
So is this like a magnetic loop, maybe 3 foot or so?
It's about a 3.5-foot mag loop,
Yeah. Okay.
and
Cool.
it's made out of LMR 400 type cable.
Okay.
And it works and it tunes. It's got a pretty wide range. It'll tune almost down to 80 meters and all the way up to 6 meters.
Yeah.
So I can pretty much cover everything. The only limitation it has is that its power, your output power is limited to 20 watts. But the output power of my radio is limited to 20 watts too. So it's a perfect fit.
Yeah. And if when you're not using it, somebody could actually use it as a hula hoop.
Sort of. They'd have to remove the they'd have to remove the smaller
There's a smaller
of the two
loop.
loops.
Yeah. Yeah. They could remove that and just put that on their arm. And have two things going at the same time.
Yeah.
All right.
It also has a nice PVC pipe up the middle, which is perfect for putting in the umbrella hole in a picnic table.
That's cool.
So when you do POTA, you just stick it in the table and you're ready to go.
Now those things have very, very high voltage on them.
Mm-hmm.
Even 20 watts, that sucker's going to be hot. So I don't think you want to touch it.
You don't touch it. You stay at the other end of the table, or you stay
Yeah.
at the next table over.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, very good. Hey, this club you're going to be with, is it just a single club or multiple clubs? About what size is it?
Oh, this club has a couple of hundred members. The Cheyenne, Wyoming Radio Club, and the Laramie Radio Club, which is called UARC, or University Amateur Radio Club, is also going to have some members who are going to go and join them. I don't know if we'll get more people from Nebraska or Colorado. We might.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to do any operating. I'm going to just try to go out and visit some of these places and get some pictures. Be sure and get some pictures or videos so you can report back and tell us what's going on. Now, here's the deal. Wait a minute. Okay. Field day is this weekend, so we'll have a show next week, and we'll have a recap of various different field days. I'll get pictures here locally. You can get pictures there. Glenn, get some of your guys if you can. And we'll just dedicate the show next week to field day. Be sure and get the food. I want to see the food, man. I'm getting hungry already thinking about field day food right now. Okay, so do that. And
I'm participating in a lot of discussions online. The usual annual discussion, is field day a contest or is it not a contest?
Field day?
People are saying, well, it must be a contest because you get scored. But the ARL nonetheless insists that it's not, that it's a promotional activity. It's not, you're not trying to get points.
Do you not have a winner?
No, not really. They list
not
the
really
scores.
A prize.
Yeah.
It's a friendly contest. Yes, I go for the points, but others don't. But no, it's not really a contest, but they have the points so at least you can tell how you've done year over year and how you compare to the other clubs.
Yeah.
If I don't get 1,100 contacts, I had a bad year.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, you guys keep us posted. Now, let's see. That'd be the next show will be
Tuesday.
July 1st. I think July 1st. All right. Anything else, Brett?
That's pretty much it. Continuing with my other projects, I got one more PC board to recap in my recapping project, and just generally enjoying summer. We don't have the incredibly hot weather that you have farther east, but we do have a lot of fog. Cheyenne, Wyoming, in which I drove to yesterday, is just shrouded in fog. Laramie is not as much, not as cloudy. But it's surprising that it's gone from being 90 degrees to being in the 70s, and hopefully that's coming your way too. Hopefully you'll get a break from the heat stroke.
Well, the temperature here has been mid-90s. Luckily, the humidity has gone down. It was just a little over 50% today, which is still really high. You can go outside here, and within 5 minutes, man, if you move a muscle, your clothes is sopping wet. You've got so much.
Absolutely.
You got so much sweat dripping off you if you go outside, man. It is. It's murder out there, and I experienced a little of that today. You got to go out and do things in steps. Go out and work 3 minutes and come in, cool off. Go out and work a couple minutes, come back in, man. Wow.
Yeah, I got lucky and mowed the lawn, I guess Sunday evening, and it was slightly cooler when I did it, but it's just been too hot even in the evening for me to go out and hang the end fed. Hopefully I'll get a cool day here with the rain in the afternoon or something. Got a front coming through.
Yeah. Well, we've been getting rain every single day, man, for the past 2 months. Man.
Yeah, my backyard was a swamp until just a day or two ago.
Yeah. Well, I've got a irrigation leak that I need to dig up and patch, but every time I leave the meter on so the irrigation leak will show up, it rains really hard, man. We get what we call here a frog choker. And, that... Yeah.
I got to tell you this. I got you beat there.
Yeah?
The next town up from me is called Toad Suck.
The Toad Suck, yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
there's Toad Suck Festival.
I saw a video the other day that had all these. Tennessee's got a bunch of names like that too. When you go down But yeah, Toadsuck, Arkansas. I'm very familiar,
Absolutely, yeah.
very familiar with
Just
that
a
one.
hop, skip, just a hop, skip, and a jump for me.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, Glenn, you could have picked out a house there at Toadsuck. That'd have been better. That would have helped bring in maybe some more viewers to the show. Maybe.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm
we got
happy where
Glenn,
I'm at.
KW5GP from Toadsuck, Arkansas.
I'll tell you what, I'll do a POTA from there one
Okay.
night for you.
That may be so small they may not have a park.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, yeah. All right. All right, guys, let's see. Let's do this. Let's take about a 30-second break and you come back, and then we're going to talk antennas and just a whole bunch of things. But first, let me say this. And we'll talk more about Hamfest later, but let me just throw this out. July 19th is the Hamquest 2025. They're in Lebanon, Tennessee, Central Tennessee. We'll be going to that July 19th, and we'll be doing a Pico balloon presentation there. So that will be Saturday, the July 19th, 2021. So July 22nd would be Tuesday. I don't know, and we've decided to go over to North Carolina from there. We'll be halfway. When we get over to Lebanon, Tennessee, we'll be halfway to North Carolina. So Kathy just said, let's go on over to the house in North Carolina. So I don't know if I'm going to do a show from there. I don't know if we just want to cancel. I don't know if Brett, you want to try to bring it up with the other software, or just cancel out.
Try.
If you want to, people are going to be. It's hard to notify people if they're not a member of our Facebook group. It's hard to let people know there won't be a show. So there will be people that show up. So you're welcome to do it. I might even join if I can from over there, but I don't know, man. I'll be in the mountains over North Carolina, and it'll probably be.
How's your internet there?
Well, it's a DSL. It's not great. Not great, but the only bad thing is going to be about 69 degrees in the mountains, cool breeze blowing. I'll probably be out on the front porch there with the radios all set up, and leaning back in a chair with my Diet Coke and maybe a couple of cupcakes, and so,
Tuesday night, I don't think I've got anything going on, but that Friday I do. I get to go back to the hospital and let them look at the inside. And they're doing something with, they said, a bug zapper. They were going to go up through my arteries and take a bug zapper to my heart a couple times.
Yeah, I know what that is. There's somebody in the chat room tonight that said that done. So I won't mention any names. I won't mention any names.
It seems to be a relatively common procedure.
Yeah.
For what it is. But yeah, I've got that planned, and that should theoretically be the last of the heart stuff. My running joke is currently my heart's SWR is about 3-to-1, and this is going to bring it down to about 1.5-to-1.
Yeah. Well, hey, chat room. Chris says there's another place in Arkansas, Greasy Spoon. Greasy Spoon,
that one
Arkansas.
I don't know about.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
All right, we need to do a funny name search for Arkansas cities. Funny names. Somebody do a search, and let's see what kind of names we can come up with in Arkansas for funny city names. Okay. All right, we'll be right back, guys. Don't go away. Icon's IC7760 is a pinnacle of base station excellence for amateur radio enthusiasts. Designed to deliver unmatched performance, the IC7760 features state-of-the-art technology, exceptional RF clarity, and an intuitive interface, all housed in a sleek and durable design. This base station features a separate remote control head and RF deck, providing enhanced flexibility for installation. Place the RF deck closer to the antenna feed point, freeing up space on your desk. You can also connect the control head to the RF deck through your home network, enabling remote operation from anywhere in your home without needing a PC. Pair the IC7760 with a powerful IC-PW2 linear amplifier and take your contesting experience to the next level with ICOM's industry-first linear amplifier. Together, they redefine what's possible in amateur radio. For more information about ICOM's amateur radios, please visit icomamerica.com/amateur. All right, guys, we are back, and I tell you, I am so proud. I'm so proud of our action figures, man. Our show does a lot of neat things, man. We got all this good music with professional artists that made all this music for us. It sounds really good. You can tell they're truly great country music singing stars, and it's kind of cool, man. After 10 years, we're able now to hire people to make songs about the show, and now we had our own line of our ham radio action figures. Now, our ham radio action figures, some are good and some are bad. I've got some complaints on some of them, but I'll show you kind of what we're working with. We haven't set the price yet. If you guys want an action figure, and we're going to vote on which one is the best tonight. I want you guys to look at all of them, tell us which one you think is the best action figure. So let's just take a look at the action figures and see what they look like here. Now, this one here, I tell you what, man. I tell you what, something's wrong there. Something's wrong. But if you want to make me number one, that's okay. But I feel personally that something's wrong. My face looks. I'm a little taller. I'm not that fat, to tell you the truth.
I think AI is jealous of you, and it added about 100 pounds to your weight.
Man, I don't know what they've done, but I went to about 4 or 5 different AI sites, and every one of them I look like an Indian from India, and another one I look Iranian, to tell you the truth. So I didn't even put those on here. Now this one, I think I look like Netanyahu here, and I don't know what you guys think, but that is supposed to be me. I don't like this one, but if you guys want this to be the winner, please vote for it after you see all of them. Hambot has his own edition of the action figures. That'd be a good one to play with there if you.
Looks a little weak for Hambot.
I would get the whole set, guys. I mean, we may make a special package deal on the whole set of all the action figures here.
I would buy the whole set.
Yeah. Now, I personally like this one. I don't know how it came. I don't know how it came out this good. I just don't know.
That's a really, really good one.
Brett must have some kind of connections with the AI people somehow. I don't know, man, because and you saw the picture we had of him climbing the rusty tower. I was going to pull it up tonight, but I can't find it. But it looked really good too. But
what I want to know is how come he got the kung fu grip and I didn't.
Yeah, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if he's missing a finger holding the handy-talkie up or not. I really don't know.
Well, he's got the forefinger in the back,
Well, it may be.
The radio.
It may be. Yeah, it could be. Could be. I hadn't looked at his name tag. I hadn't blown it up and looked at the name tag yet. Let me look at the name tag. Let's see what the name tag says, if we can. Let's see. Oh man, that looks Russian. That looks Russian to me. I don't know, man. Huh? I don't know about that, man. Anyway, overall, I think it's still one of the.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, it's a good one here. It's a good one. This is supposed to be a group of people watching Roundtable show, but I can't tell they are. Hey, one thing I noticed here in this one, what kind of radio is that in the center? It looks like a dual bander with a display on the side and the front. You notice that?
Oh yeah,
I mean, let me see if I can blow that up a little bit. Let's just see what. Let's see if I
I
can
didn't
figure.
notice that. Yeah,
Oh, I don't know if I can do
Looks
this or
like
not.
that's the contesting version.
Oh
so
man,
that your
look.
logger can see everything.
Isn't it? That's all one radio, isn't it?
Sure. No, it looks like there might be a divider between the
Wait a
two.
minute. I'm looking at
Not
the
sure.
top. I don't see a crack on top here, man. I
But
don't
it looks
know.
like there's a flat spot going straight back.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
maybe just a ventilation change.
I don't know.
Maybe
But
that's
yeah,
the
that's a
amplifier.
contesting-
Maybe that's the amplifier there on one side.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know. All right. Now, this one's not bad. I'm wearing glasses
A little bit
there.
better.
I'm wearing my glasses there. I don't wear glasses anymore.
It took about 50 pounds off of you, though.
Yeah, I do have a little bit less weight there. Yeah. Now, I don't know, man.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, I don't know who I look like, to tell you the truth.
It's like you said in the pre-show. You look like Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, that's a crazy looking microphone for the radio.
Yeah.
With an awful
Man.
thick cable.
Oh yeah, well, actually,
Yeah. You're also
yeah.
your Whiskey Sierra Kilo uniform.
Oh, yeah.
Bravo,
Yeah, I see that.
WSKUB.
I'm Wishkub. Yeah,
Wishcom. Yep.
that's one of those new mics where that's actually a tube, no cable. The voice goes down the pipe to the radio. There's a little
Yeah.
sensor.
It also doubles as a club.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. And this one here is not too bad. Now,
I like that one.
you look kind of like somebody else I know. You look kind of like a friend.
really-
You look like my friend. I don't know if you remember Freddie Diaz. YV,
Oh yeah, I remember
YV
Freddie.
5. I forget Freddie's call. Freddie looks kind of like that with the white stash up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good. Let me count your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got all of them.
I got them all.
Yeah. They look a little
Yeah,
deformed.
I
The
like
radio
that
there
one.
has an awful lot of buttons.
Got a what? Oh,
That
Well, it's
radio has a
Arduino
lot of
powered.
buttons.
yeah. I don't know, man. That'd be a tough programming
I
that
like
radio.
it. Yeah, that's the Sony Walkman HT.
Yeah. All right.
But like I say, Brett got the Kung Fu grip and I didn't. So, no, I'm gonna have to vote for Brett's.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one. Why?
Yep, I vote for Brett's.
Why all of a sudden?
We got my parrot.
I mean, come on,
headset.
his shirt's even ironed.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, how many Hamfests do you go that our shirts are ironed?
Yeah, I mean, and look at that, man. The shirt it's like it's been tailored to fit perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
look at that. Don't even have any stomach. Don't even have any stomach hanging out there. He's got to have.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that is. That's a good one.
They gave me khaki pants.
I don't know who that fat guy is. Anyway, that's the SWR, the new SWR meter that we're going to start using here.
It's a joy meter.
Is it? I didn't. Is it a joy
Well,
meter?
look, zoom in
If
on
you
it.
zoom in, yeah.
on it.
Let me
It's
look.
not an SWR meter.
Let me look. Oh, that is a joy meter. Well, it ain't reading nothing. So I don't know what that means.
pre-shot.
I guess it's not hooked up. What are the other buttons do? H.
Can't really tell.
I see. I don't know what they
The
are.
one on the right looks like IOM or Tom.
One on the left
Don't
looks
know
like
what the
wolf.
left side says.
I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, that's our action figures that we're coming up with for the show, and we're gonna start selling those action figures. We'll probably sell them for about $14.95. If you want an action figure, we'll get you one here. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Well, guys, go ahead.
Brett's got the current Wyoming license plate up
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah, he does. That's cool.
Oh yeah, that's the back of my Toyota.
All right. What's it say down at the bottom right? That's W?
That's why.
Oh, Y.
It's a
That's
pun.
Y.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
for Wyoming.
Why not?
That's why.
I don't know. Okay. All right. So, guys, I was wanting to try. I got a bunch of different antennas out there. I do like resonant antennas. I've got one extended ZEP that's 172 feet long, fed with open line and a kilowatt tuner on it out there. It can go anywhere. I got some fan dipoles out there for 3 bands. We've got a halfway vertical in-fed out there. My 3/8 40-meter vertical fell the other day, and I just took it down. I wanted to try something new, put it in the same spot there. So I was thinking something like on the lines of the DX Commander, where basically you just got a mast and you've got a resonant radiating wire for each band, 40, 20, 17, 15, 10 meters. So I built that up. I think I showed you I was building it up. I got some pictures here. I don't like it, so I've already taken it down. What little time I could play in the heat with it, I decided to take it down. So let me see if I can show you here. I don't think these are going to be in any order. But if you remember, okay. If you remember, I built some spacers out of the PVC pipe. And a cross spacer like that, I was going to have 5 bands, one through the center and one at each end there. And this would give me a good solid about 8 or 9 inches spacing between the elements. Even when the wind's blowing and different things like that, it would keep them apart, about 9 inches apart. So I felt like that was important to do. So there's some of the spacers. You can see them here. I've got 2 antennas. The longest one went through the center. That was for 40 meters. That's about 34 feet long, went through the center. And then on each of the tips there, we had the 20 meter wire, the 15 meter, 10 meter, and so forth. So that's some during the construction. Now, they weren't that close together. I did have them spaced apart there a little bit more than that. There's another look at them. I'm using some number 12. No, that's number 10 stranded wire right there that I'm using for the elements. We'll come back to that one. So there we go. We start with the first one through. It goes all the way through. We'll put some space between them. I had to drill holes in them. I forgot to drill the middle hole. There's a picture of it kind of stretched out in my shop right there. You can kind of see the spacers, how they're working, and you're kind of holding of course, holding the wires apart. I think I'm missing just one band. Let's see, yeah, I'm missing one band through that top hole there.
It's So is each one a half wave or a quarter wave?
No, it'd be a quarter wave. It'd be a quarter wave resonant, and it'd be. Well, what I do, I would hang it. The longest one is the 40-meter quarter wave in the center, and that's what I would tie my rope to and pull over the tree limb, and that one in the center would hold the entire assembly up in the air. So there's another shot of it. I talked about feeding them. There was a couple thoughts about feeding it. Even on a fan dipole, it's real tough to get more than about 3 bands working because they interfere with each other in the tuning. They're real difficult to tune. That's just an little electrical block there I'm using at the bottom where I put my coax connector, and so right there you can see the 20 meter, the 40 meter, 20 meter, and probably the 15 meter. They're all coming to a single point. And I was going to try to feed them first, all tied together, like you would a fan dipole, whatever. So you can see, again, another shot. Y'all go to that.
Now, how's that type of connector going to hold up in weather over time?
That type connector?
That
Well,
screw terminal set.
He's talking about the ground. He's talking about the ground bus there.
Well, that's not a ground bus. That is actually the
That's
center.
the feed bus.
That's the feed right there. And how's it going to hold
yeah.
together?
Oh,
Well,
yeah, no, like,
Well, I mean, corrosion
it's
and
made
stuff.
as, okay.
Well, I don't
You're using
know.
it as a feed, but it's made
Yeah.
as a ground bus for a power panel.
well, yeah, it is.
Part.
So what we old timers do when we build stuff, we open the junk drawer and whatever we find, we thought, hey, that'll work here. Let me tie them all together there. Or I could have twisted them all together and soldered them. But if I'd
I was
wanted,
just asking if you had thought about that.
well, I have not. But that is something to think about. But I don't think it's going to be relevant in this conversation.
I would have done the same thing. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I'd have done
All
the
right, so
exact same
so
thing.
I tried tuning it. Man, the 40 meter came down 1-to-1. Man, it came down perfect. The others were all over the place, and none of them wanted to come in right, And I kept trimming and trying and so forth. I thought, okay, this is not going to be fun. This is not going to work. Plus, it was hot out there. So, my other idea was, okay, they are interacting with each other. They're all tied together, single feed point. And the way that works, the way RF works is, at the resonant frequency, it only sees that antenna, and the others are such high impedance, that it really doesn't affect anything. It only sees that 50 ohm resonant piece there. So it didn't work out very well for me. I could have probably spent hours out there in the heat. I didn't like it. So I had already mentioned to you guys that I had built a antenna switch box. One has seven SO239s on it, and it's controlled by a little antenna switch here. And basically, Glenn, you probably know what that is. That's an AB switch, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's just an AB switch. And then there's a lot of these same boxes they had. What was it? Not RS-232, but like the printer connector on the back. Well,
The old Centronics 35
yeah.
or 36.
But anyway, man, this is a nice heavy case, metal.
Yeah.
I got me some feet on
Those
it.
are great cases.
This is a great case, man, and it got my LEDs in there for each band. And what I did is, since and I've got an Ethernet jack on the back, and of course, Ethernet cable has a Cat5 cable. Has 8 conductors, so I got one common, and I can switch 7 things. So this will switch 7 relays. So I've got a box that will plug into this through the Cat5 cable remotely out there, and it's got 7 SO239s on it. But I also made this thinking that someday I may want to just switch a vertical wire, not not a SO239 or a PL259, but so this basically is the same thing, except it just has six relays in it, and they feed the binding poster green. They're green. That's not good, is it? So let me see if I can.
Green screen is knocking it out.
Let me see if I can show you. Here we go. That's better. That's better, isn't it? Yeah. So the same control box will switch each of these 7 relays on and off. So, I could hook my 40 meter element here, 40, 20, 15, 17, 15, 10, if I wanted to, and I could switch them all independently with them not connected, and that they would all come back to to the single feed here. All right, so I thought, well, I could do that because I've got the Cat5 cable running out there. I've got several running out to my antenna farm, and I could do that. You know what? Did you see that? You didn't see it, did you? I forgot to flip it.
Forgot to switch cameras.
I forgot to flip it. There we go.
There we are.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah. This is just again, I could plug the Cat5 in right here, and I've got relays here for each of the outputs, and I have individual singles. Like you could put a resonant 20, 40, 20, 17, 12, 10, and switch them independently through through the single coax that went out there. So I thought, well, I could use this, but I'm thinking, let's just keep it simple and let's experiment and let's do some different things. So then I'm thinking, okay, well, and while I let me go back to the picture here. This is where we were? Don't know. Yeah, that's where we were. So, let me get it. That's where we were. Right
John's
here.
asked a question, can Cat5 cable handle 100 watts? Well, you wouldn't want it to because it's not balanced or anything. And that's just to switch relays that would switch the coax on the relay contacts.
Yeah, I've used this before. I've run 1,000 watts out there, so it's just to switch the relays. Very low current. You're not too worried about voltage. If you don't get enough voltage out there to switch your relays, hey, I've got like Glenn, I probably have at least 400 or 500 of those power packs laying around here in boxes. I'll just put a higher voltage power pack on there to get 12 volts or 14 or whatever I need out there. There's a picture I took from inside the house. You can see how it kind of it's hanging from a tree limb, just as a test. Underneath that green box there is a bus with SO239s on it that all my underground coaxes come up to. And also under there, Brett, I have the 1500 watt auto tuner in there, and then from there it comes out of there with open line and goes up to about 80 or 90 feet there.
And what are you using for ground radials or grounding system?
I've got some ground rods in the ground there, and when I moved here, I buried about 15 or 20 radios in all different directions out there in the yard, different lengths, of course. And a lot of people have different thoughts about radios. Most people now are thinking they don't have to be resonant linked. A lot of people, I was reading articles today where they think, 4 or 5 10-foot radios is good enough. And then some people say you need 16 and some say you need 32 and 64. But I've been happy with the 15 or 20 radios I've got. I've got some radios.
How hard do you want to chase a half of an S unit?
Yeah, I've got some radios there that I put in that are about 130 feet long. and then others that probably are as short as 10 feet, something like that. So different lengths. All right, so I thought, well, I could switch each individual leg with this antenna switch here. But I started experimenting. I took each of those legs out of that connector block. You saw that electrical connector block, and I would put the antenna analyzer on a single wire to tune to resonant. But I noticed that if I connected or disconnected other wires that were on that block, it greatly affected the SWR on the wire that wasn't even connected to them. So there's a lot of interaction here. Now, I will say this, that might have something to do with the ground system there, and I could probably duplicate that exact thing right there, 5 wires, and make a dipole, a folded dipole out of it, and I might have some fair results if I used those spacers and duplicated it twice and made a dipole out of it. But anyway, look it up if you haven't looked it up before, but the Stanford University did a study on fan dipoles, and it's well written up, and it tells you that once you pass that 3 mark, they really start interfering with each other. Also, they tell you right at the feed point, you need to separate them at the feed point at least 6 or 7 inches apart at the feed point. And then each leg needs to be, I think, 18 inches or more apart, at the distant ends. And I played with that a little bit on other antennas, and it seems like it does make a difference. So look it up, Stanford University, and I also found that through the IEEE, which I'm a member of. But look it up, Stanford University fan dipole study, and you'll probably get it there. And Brett, why don't you Google that while we're looking? Stanford University fan dipole study, maybe. Okay. Anyway, I thought, okay, this is too much trouble. It's too hot out here. So I thought, okay, let's try something different here. Let me see. Let's try something different. So I thought, okay, let's do this. There are a lot of people that had great success with a coil at the bottom and tapping the coil. So here's the diagram here I thought about. Okay, let's look at this right here. And I thought, okay, well, let's do this. Let's put a single radiating element up under the tree, and that'll look better. I won't have 5 elements going up and all these spacers and the ugliness of it out there. So I thought, okay, I'll just run 1 wire up there, and with a coil at the bottom, we will tap that coil for each band resonance, and then I could use my antenna switch box here and select the tap on that coil for each band. And I thought about that. Well, and the plans that I was looking at on the internet, which worked well for the guy, of course, was just a coil here. The bottom was not grounded. He had 4 10-foot radials that were grounded to the coax right here. Anyway, I played with that a little bit, and again, I could get 40 meters down to a 1-to-1. It was difficult getting a match on any of the bands with this scenario right here. And instead of playing with taps out there, it was so hot, I just took a rotary inductor out there that I had, and I put the rotary inductor here, and I tuned that rotary inductor to try to find, resonant frequency on each of the bands, and I just really had a lot of trouble. So I don't think I'm going to do that now. So now I think my next thought is going to be, I've never thought much about using a trap antenna, but I'm gonna play with one. And now that I've got some nice spectrum analyzers, and I like building traps, I think I'm gonna put me up a single trapped antenna out there. For instance, we've got our coax. We've got our coax coming in, and it's going to connect. And then we've got our ground system out there, and put a trap in there. Put a trap in here for like 15, and then we're going up, and I'm gonna make me another trap, say for, I don't know, what is that, 17 meters, and then take it on up 17, 20 meters, and then that would be 20. So that means this last piece here would be the final part for 40. That'd be 40. 20 would be right here. Got that drawn around. 17 would be here, and 15 would be this little piece here. So by having traps in there, again, what my goal was is to get a resonant antenna where I don't have to do anything. I don't have to flip switches to go from one band to the other. With something like this, I should be able just to change the transmitter to any band, and it's going to be resonant at where I've got it tuned. So I like this. I think I'm going to try this next. I played with... Yeah.
Is there a drawing associated with this?
Oh man, you guys are going to have to help me. You guys are going to have to help me remember this. So there it is. The coax coming in, 15 meters, a trap for 15, 17 meter radiating part there, another 17 meter trap, then 20 meters, a trap for 20, and then the top piece there would be 40, and hang it from a tree. Hang it right there from a tree limb. And again, this gives me 5 bands, 6 bands, whatever, resonant, where I don't have to flip any switches. I just flip the band switch on the radio or the amplifier. And I can make these traps big enough to handle the power. I played with several traps, and just played with them on the spectrum analyzer over here. Some of the traps, of course, would be just wire with a capacitor inside, the right value capacitor inside to make a trap resonant for say 20 meters, and that would go right in line with one of the things. And I don't know much about this, but I played with it. This is a coaxial trap that I played with. There's no capacitor in here because you're using the capacitance of the cable. The coax cable has so much capacitance per foot, and there are charts and frequency charts and information on the net for building a coaxial trap. So, basically so many turns, that becomes your inductor, and your capacitance is inside the wire itself, and internally there, on one end you hook the center conductor to the ground on the other end, and that puts the capacitance across the coil. So I'm just playing with it and learning. So again, trap, and that probably I think that's what I'm going to try next, a trap vertical out there. And again, I've got other antennas that I use. I just like having some extra antennas. So that's my story, and I'm kind of sticking to it. What do you think, guys? Questions?
No, I like the idea of the traps because you have fewer wires flying around and you don't have the interactions. I did find that SRI, Stanford Research Institute, fan dipole paper, but it looks like they only do they're only doing a tri-bander.
Yeah, because they found out that anything over 3 bands is almost impossible to do, man. And you see in a handbook, these guys, they draw these things out in a handbook and they put 5 bands on there. Man, you'll pull your hair out. I guarantee you, you'll pull your hair out trying to tune, 5 bands on On a,
Well, they fix it up with the auto tuner.
yeah, and you know what? With me running, well, you know, if I run an amp, that means I got to have a 1500 watt amp.
Oh yeah,
I mean a 1500 watt tuner.
yeah.
And
It
you know what?
doesn't
A
make sense,
1500
but
watt
that's what I'm
tuner,
saying.
a 1500 watt tuner is not easy to come by. Let me tell you.
Most people with a fan dipole are not running an amp.
Yeah, yeah. So, so you know, you could do the same thing. Put traps in a dipole and get multi-band like it. I would think it should tune. You know, you start with the shortest one first. You tune it to resonance. Put the trap on there, and then you extend it out. Tune that piece for resonance on the next band up. Put your trap there. You might adjust the length a little bit, but I think I'm gonna try the trap. I think I'm gonna try it next.
Yeah. At Dayton Invention,
Well, let
I
me
walked
show
around
you-
to the DX engineering booth, and they had different multi-band antennas with different approaches. They had the DX Commander there. They had a couple of trap verticals. The trap ones looked like the most reliable and the easiest to assemble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot less spider web, you know, out in the air out there, man. You know. Plus, you know.
Well, let me.
Yeah. Go ahead, Clint.
I was going to say, let me show you how I plan to do it
Okay.
with a Hamfest find.
With a Hamfest, what? Oh, what do you got there?
A
What,
Hamfest find.
wait a minute. Hold it up a little higher. Hold it up. Hang on. What is that thing? That is a shack.
That's an
Shack-
antenna.
Shackland.
2
Yeah.
by 10, 2 transmitters to 10 antennas made by Hamation. And
That's an antenna
the
switch.
cool part.
That's an antenna
It's
switch.
an antenna switch, but here's the cool part.
Yeah.
It's got a network connector,
Yeah.
an auxiliary output connector, an auxiliary control connector.
Man.
So it's theoretically controllable by network. They have software, but they do not have the 2 by 10. It's been obsolete for a while, and
Yeah.
apparently it never really made it that popular because I contacted them and they're like, we don't even have the 2 by 10 software anymore.
Well, that's
But-
interesting. Yeah.
Oh.
Just
They have
last
documentation
week,
on how to write that.
no,
That-
just
yeah.
last week, I figured this whole thing out. I opened it up and ohmed out everything and tracked everything. And it's got a really cool design. It's got 2 transmitters. Let's see, right here, transmitter 2 and transmitter 1.
Yeah.
And no matter how you rotate the dial, they cannot conflict. If you rotate them both to antenna 1, only one of the transmitters gets the connector. So
Well, that's
there's
cool.
that.
Now, it would be nice to put something like it out at the antenna farm. Although
No, this ain't going out there.
that's you know you would need to put it in. You'd need to waterproof it, of course, if you did put it out
Right.
there.
But here's the cool thing. It's got this auxiliary connector here, and I figured it out. The LAN, since there's no documentation, can't do anything with that. That connector really doesn't do a whole lot. But this connector is easily usable, and I can interface an Arduino with a little web server on it and get the network control back. But
Yeah.
as it sits, you know, it's got all the cool, it's just huge. But it's
Yeah.
got all the cool LEDs and everything to show you.
Yeah.
It's got an
yeah.
auto manual switch. So I figured it out, and I can make this an auto again, but it works just fine as a manual switch. And I
Well, that
picked
is-
this up for like $50 at a Hamfest.
Man.
And like I say, I can easily see me getting an Arduino and a web server going on this thing and have it do the automatic switching via network real easy.
All right. Well, you got some work to do there. Got a nice little project.
Yes, sir.
You got a nice
Oh,
little
well,
project.
That's what prowling the boneyards and the Hamfest will get you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's the
You get
power
some cool
handling
stuff.
capacity of that switch?
1,000 watts.
Cool.
Oh, a
So
kilowatt.
it's
That's
full
great.
legal
Cool.
limit.
Cool. So let me show you. You know, I showed you the single wires antenna switch right here. I showed you that, and I showed you the switch box here that tuned it. Here's the other antenna, or here's the other remote end that I built right here. Of course, there's the Ethernet jack right there. You go in, and I've got seven SO239s there. Nice little military box. It's got a rubber seal around the inside here. It was waterproof. I don't remember. So it was some kind of remote radio device. I stripped it out. I couldn't say it's waterproof now because, of course, anytime you put connectors like this in, you're going to have all kinds of leaks around them if you're not careful. So, I would say you can mount this up. You can mount it upside down possibly, or you could put it in another weatherproof box. But let me show you what the inside looks like. And you see it's got the military.
I like those latches.
You like the latches? It really
I like the military latches.
It's really tight the way it.
You could make that watertight relatively.
Yeah,
easily.
let's see if I can open it here.
That's an ammo can, right?
Yeah, well, no, it's not an ammo can. It was some type of remote radio device.
Oh.
Oh, it's coming open here. I think it's coming
Those
open.
buckles will make it watertight if you got a good O-ring.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. So that's
There
what
you
it looks like inside.
Yep.
Center conductor. Your input, and then you go to your 7 relays, and I've got a bypass across each relay, and that's it. Cat 5 into
Tell
it.
you what, Tom,
The what?
flip it over so we can read that label.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me move the wire out of the way. Hey, I got a built date on there.
So I thought 2012.
Yeah,
Isn't that cool?
yeah. So,
Yep. Something
those
you
search
built.
for-
13
oh, there's
years ago.
look. It's got a diagram in there.
Ah,
Looks like it has
Oh, that
a
was a-
transformer. Looks like it has a transformer. And it's what is all this stuff?
Looks like a tuner or an antenna switch kind of deal.
Circuit diagram for the control unit. It held 2 batteries. It had a microphone jack and a phone jack, radio phone jack, radio mic jack, and I don't know. It had some capacitors, a relay, rotary switch. Oh, I don't know what that is right there. I left a part in here. I don't know what that is. Right there on the left. You see it?
Yeah.
It's got 2 screws holding it. It's some kind of metal strip. I wonder. Some kind of
Maybe an amp meter,
it could be
or,
a shunt. It could be some kind of
a
shunt.
shunt for an amp meter, or just a power bus.
Yeah. Interesting.
Ground
Anyway,
strip.
hey,
Yeah,
great
this
seal
one.
around it. The seal is still good after. I imagine this is a 1940s box from World War II, maybe. So 80 years old.
You can take that to the next level, and instead of using your manual switch, bring in Arduino connected to that RJ45 and put it on the network, just like I was talking about Big One.
Yeah.
And you've got that enough weather sealed, you could make that weather sealed and put that out by the antenna.
Yeah. The only thing is, it's not going to be weatherproof around these. These connectors are not weatherproof.
Oh, you can seal those. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
our TV
you
is
can.
for.
Yes, you can use coax seal mastic.
Yeah,
and you
I
can
guess
make
so.
them weatherproof.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, that's a simple little project to build. You can pay
Very cool
easily.
job.
You can pay $150, $200 for a 7-port switch at DX Engineering or wherever. But make your own. Go find your junk box. Find you something, man. I mean,
Exactly.
back in the olden days, we used to build stuff on wood. We didn't have a metal box. We would build it on wood. Yeah. All right. Well, that's probably enough about that. Hey, got a note. Got a note. Well, actually, it was a posting. A guy says, "Man, my little clip on my microphone jack, on my microphone cords broke off. What do I do?" And everybody's giving him all this advice, man. Well, just solder another connector, connector on here. Go somewhere and buy you a connector. But I'll tell you something. That's probably not as easy as putting a Cat 5 cable in an RJ45, because a lot of times those cables, those mic cables, are stranded, and they're different type wire, and it might be a little difficult doing that. So what I told him to do was this, and I think this would work fine. I think I got it right here. Let me see if I got it right here. Yeah, right there. I said, I've used these. Have you used those?
No.
You know what that is? If the clip breaks, these things, and I've got a whole drawer full of them over here, it just slides right over the existing RJ45 connector, and it snaps on.
I would have sold my soul for one of those
Yeah,
years ago.
it just snaps on, Glenn. It's
Oh, wow.
it is it's so easy. Let me see. I've got something right here.
I would have sold my soul for those.
Yeah. Let me find
Gosh,
one here.
knows
See if
how
I can.
many
Those work.
RJ45s
well,
I've had
but-
to repair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we
The
go.
problem is they don't have one of those for jacks.
Here we
If you
go.
pull out, if you break the little rod in the jack, it's hard to fix.
See that, Glenn?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
No, you're on the wrong.
Yeah, I'm on the wrong camera. So I was suggesting him just to go out and
I'm gonna have to get me some of
and
those.
what it does, Glenn, it just slides right over the broken
Yeah.
one. It just snaps
Yeah, 'cause
right
you
on.
got the back half.
Yeah, it goes click and snaps right on, and hey, I've had great luck with them. And you can get them. You can get them about anywhere. You can get them anywhere. Here they are, but this is for
Oh,
50,
man.
$14 for 50 of them. You don't necessarily need 50, but you can get. Let me see.
Those,
There they are, right there. $2.
It's on my,
Yeah.
it's on my shopping list.
Quick snap latch repair is what they're called. RJ45
That is
connector
phenomenal.
solution. Have you used these, Brett?
I've never used those because I usually just put on a fresh RJ45.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I wish they had was the equivalent if you break the part inside the jack that holds the plug in. That's much harder to fix because you have to take the whole device apart.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has solved that problem yet.
Yeah. Well, anyway, hey, that's what I told him to do this. Now, another guy says, well, he bought a 6-inch Cat 5 extension, and he said he just plugged his mic into it and he glued it in. I guess that'll work.
That would work.
That'll work. So there's a couple solutions there. I would not.
At
I
that
would.
point,
I would not suggest for the guy to try to change the connector. If he cut that connector off that cable, I bet you.
I was going to say, if you're going to get the extension, I would cut the ends off both cables and solder them together.
Yeah. The guy didn't seem too technical. He was asking for help. What's he going to do? He didn't even know where to find. He said, "Where can I get a microphone?" Well, Anyway,
Yeah.
I would
Well,
not
that's
suggest
the
for
cool-
anybody like that to cut the connector off and try to put a connector on, because
I
tell you-
would, but that's a very cool way to do
those
things. I'm
those
definitely getting
those
the
wires,
handle.
those wires in the cable, a lot of them aren't solid. They're stranded, and some of these wires, Glenn, and I know you guys have probably run into it, both of you. They're like thread. They're like cotton thread. They're not like
Yes.
metal.
No,
Now-
they're wrapped around a fiber core of some kind.
Now, I have been able to solder to them, but it don't solder good either, man.
pain in the butt. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, anyway, that's the tip for tonight, guys. Easy repair of a RJ45, and I think that's what's on most of these mics. It's an RJ45 connector. At least that's what I see on my mics. My mics are in here. All right. What time we got here? Oh man, we got about 10 minutes left for the show tonight. Hamfest coming up. Hamfest. I'll be at Hamquest, Lebanon, Tennessee, July 19th. And again, from there I'll be for the show on that Tuesday following that. I'll be in North Carolina, so I may or may not. I probably. Well, I don't know. So Brett, if you want to try to bring the show up, bring it up. There will be people. There will be people wondering, where we are. If you don't have time or don't want to, that's okay.
Oh, I'd love to do it. Let's see if I can figure out the video production again, if all the accounts still work.
Yeah, it should still work, and yeah. And I could even try to connect here on DSL. I've connected here before on it, and my picture wasn't that great. It's kind of grainy, but we were able to get on there. All right. Man, we're coming up in July. Woo, August will be here soon. Huntsville, we'll see both you guys in Huntsville. That's going to be cool. Brett, you still got your bungalow or whatever you call it there for Huntsville up on the mountain?
Oh yeah, the day before the Huntsville Handfest, there's this big POTA party up at Montesano State Park on the mountain overlooking Huntsville. It's a barbecue on Friday about noon, and a ton of people are there. So I reserved a cabin for the night before, so I'll be able to sleep in and get up and saunter over to the POTA party.
All right, now are you going to keep that? Are you going to eventually move to a hotel in Huntsville, or are you just going to keep that place?
Yeah. Oh, I'm staying there for one night, and then I'm moving down to Huntsville to to a hotel that's closer to the Von Braun Center.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, very good. All right. Well, guys, if you're out there listening, you've been listening to and watching Amateur Radio Roundtable, a show about ham radio, shortwave, electronics, and so forth. We're glad you've been with us tonight. If you're out there listening on WBCQ 7490, send us an email to tom@w5kub.com. Tell us where you are. Give us a signal report for the station. And you can join us on our live show Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time. The simplest way to find us is just go to w5kub.com, and there at that site you will actually see our chat room and can watch the video. We're on YouTube, we're on X, we're also streaming live on Facebook. I'm thinking about maybe expanding that, maybe put Twitch back on, and I don't know if there's some more out there. There's another one out there we started on years ago called what was it called? You something. I forget what it was called. Ustream. We were on Ustream, but we may try to expand the show a little bit. Maybe get the word out a little bit more to different people. All right. Any last questions in the chat room? We're watching the chat room tonight. Chat room's been awful quiet the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I just wondered if it'd gone dead,
Well, we just kind of expanded some minds with all of the cool technology and antennas and stuff.
Yeah, I think
They're just digesting it now.
Or they went and got a drink and are watching TV right now.
Yeah, where they tuned us out.
Yeah. All right. Well, the YouTube studio is telling me we've had 507 views tonight on YouTube.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. We've got 42 people concurrent. It's been staying about 42 concurrent. So a lot of people come and go, but it's been holding pretty steady at 42. We used to have a lot more concurrent people. I don't know what we need to do to increase that. I'm not sure how many people.
Start going to Hamfest and giving stuff away.
Yeah, I don't know how many people we have watching on X right now, and there should be probably a Brazilian people watching on Facebook.
Let's see what X says. Maybe it'll tell me.
On Facebook, because on Facebook we do have 14,000 members in that group, and it'll be on Facebook, just like we're recorded on YouTube, Facebook, and X. So a lot more people will see it over the next days.
Yeah,
Right now,
what you need to do is get us a sponsor and give away something every show.
Yeah.
About the middle or towards the end of the show, and make them have to watch the show to get
I've talked to Robbie there at Gigaparts, and we've got a deal worked out. I mean, I've talked to him last year at Huntsville and the year before. We could give away for sure. We could give away every single show a Explorer handy talkie. But he would like to code it where he would like to see some type of return on investment. In other words, if he puts some type of code with it, he would be able to see if hams buy additional things, once they come to get their free handy talkie.
Right.
My fear is hams are so cheap out here, nobody's going to buy nothing, so I just didn't want to get into an embarrassing situation with Robbie, so...
Yeah, that's very understandable. I'm as cheap as they come.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
All right.
I just checked X. We have 3 viewers on X
right
now.
Yeah. I see that. I do see 3 viewers. Wow.
I don't know about Twitch or Facebook.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. And also here, this show on YouTube, there will be probably, by tomorrow morning, there will probably be 150, 175 people that have tuned in, probably when the show was not on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Good night to everybody. Thanks for joining and watching tonight. We enjoyed it, and we will see you.
Enjoy Field Day.
We'll see you next week.
Yep.
We'll have our show on Field Day next weekend. Oh, if you will, take some pictures of your Field Day. Take some video, take some pictures. Get a group picture. Get the different operating positions. Show us putting the antennas up. And especially show us the food. I want to see the food there. And that reminds me, after the show, food. And send it to us, and we will feature you and your Field Day on our show next week. And if you'd like to come on and talk about it, we'd love to have you to come on and talk about it there. Good night to everybody. We will see you next week, 73.
Right.